What's up YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I will be installing some high clearance brass links on the Axial SCX24 rock racer build. So these links are from RC-Addiction19 on Instagram. So if you haven't seen them before, definitely check them out. I will link everything in the description. So I got a little too excited when I got these in the mail and kind of already undid the packages, but they have a little bunch of little cool stickers on here. And it's like, you are about to make a huge smile. Caution, I hope your face muscles are ready. That's pretty cool, pretty neat. And so in this package right here, I have the steering links. So here are the brass steering links. I believe these are all handmade by RC Addiction. And so those are the steering links. And then here are other links. And so these are for C10. So he does have a bunch of instructions for the steering links and for the other links. So if you don't know how to do it, you can definitely read these or you can watch this video. Also, he provides some pretty cool stickers. I got this kind of Yoda build sticker, and then there's this kind of like this shiny one. So I'm definitely gonna put them somewhere cool. So bam. The links also do come with extra rod ends, so if you ever happen to break one, you have some on reserve, which is a pretty nice touch if you ask me. So these links are available on eBay and on Etsy. I think the price for eBay is, the price on eBay for these links is $79, and then the price on Etsy is $75. So just depending on shipping and handling, you're almost coming up about $80 for a set of links. I have chosen to install these links on my rock racer build, formerly the C10 build, and in the past, if you're a subscriber, you know that I installed the hot racing links on this build, and I do want to replace them. These links give a little bit more clearance and they add weight, and this truck does tip over a lot because the body is so heavy. So hopefully these links can help out. And yeah, it should be a pretty simple install. So the first thing I wanted to point out is that these links are going to be a 4-link. So compared to the Wishbone or the Y-link, whatever you like to call it, on the stock C10, deadbolt, whatever, the typical SCX24, this front link up here in the front is in the shape of a Y or a Wishbone. So this system calls for a 4-link setup. So this is a servo tray I have just lying around. So the Y-link on the stock truck goes in the middle of the servo tray, just like that. And so with these ones, we're gonna have the 2 links on the outer edges of that mount. So it should go something like, so it should look something like that. If you can imagine, it's gonna go on the outside instead of the inside. That's just something worth noting when we're getting into this install. Also, I have everything separated. Some of these links are very close in length, so you don't want to mix them up because you might put the wrong link in the wrong area. But for now, let's start off with the steering link. So the first thing we're going to do is undo these screws right here at both the knuckles. And then you need Phillips to get to this screw right here. Just come off like that. So here is our old hot racing steering link. I'm definitely going to reuse this, probably put this on the deadbolt next. Always save your parts. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this link on this side of the truck with one of the shorter screws. Come in here, grab my hex driver, screw it in like that. Next, I'm going to grab the shorter steering link and I'm going to grab the longer screw, which is a Phillips head screw. So you'll be able to make that difference when you're putting everything together. And we're going to put it through the top here, through this link, and we're going to connect it to the knuckle. Don't want to make it too tight. Next, we're going to grab our servo horn, our last remaining screw, and we're going to tie everything all together. So I'm going to go from the back side of the link with the screw, like that. And then I'm going to put it into, I believe I had it in the second hole of the servo horn. Then we're going to grab our little screw that ties our servo horn to our servo. And we're going to make it snug. You should have your servo on, have it centered, and then tie everything together, because if you don't do that, you will create issues with your steering and possibly burn out your servo. So keep that in mind. I'm just not doing that right now because my servo is burnt out. And so there's the install for the RC Addiction 19 brass steering links. So it's pretty simple. It's a little bit of a different design, but it works. It's perfect. And so, I mean, the finish on these things, man, the 3D printed joints or whatever you want to call them, and the brass links, looking good. There's that. So that was the easy part. Now we're gonna move on to the little bit harder parts. So let's say you get really excited about your new links and you somehow mix them up. The easiest way to tell is that the longer ones are in the rear. So these are the longer ones, so I know they go in the rear, and the shorter ones go up front. So now that we got that out of the way, first thing we need to do is grab our 1.3 and remove. I like to remove one link at a time, so I remove one, then I replace one. I find that this is the easiest way to get everything kind of in line, because once they're all removed, they're all kind of, it's hard to line up the little holes, but while one is removed and the other ones are connected, it's kind of a little bit easier to get things in order. That's how I like to do it. And just like that, we removed our old hot racing link. When matching up your links, clearly this link is a lot shorter than that one, so it's clearly not that one. So you want to grab the one that's the right size, and bam, you match it up, and that's how you know where what goes. So this may seem pretty obvious for some people, and it might be a little bit challenging for others, so I just want to clarify this. The bend of the link goes towards the wheels. So you see the bend right here? This is on his eBay page. So the bend goes towards the wheels. Here you can see in the rear the bend is towards the wheels. So you want to keep the flatter part, the straighter part at the center by the skid plate, and have the bend towards the wheels. I mean, it may seem like it'd be pretty obvious, but some people just don't know, and so I just want to cover that basis. And it's okay not to know, because we're not all experts at this. All right, and so now I'm gonna grab my new link, and I'm gonna grab my old hardware. There's a longer screw. I believe this goes here at the skid plate, and the shorter screw goes at the axle, just to clarify. So I'm gonna grab my bend, I'm gonna put it towards the wheels of the truck. So I'm just gonna pop it in there like that. I'm gonna grab my longer screw. There's one. I'm gonna grab my other screw, pop this to be positioned by the axle. So that took me about a minute to find the right hole in there. I mean, it's pretty simple, but the articulation, like I'm saying, doing one link at a time is really, really important when putting everything back together. It could take quite some time if everything's really loose. So having the other links in place help kind of line up this one a little bit easier. Okay, so after about 2-3 minutes, I have both of the bottom front links on. Now we're gonna move the Y link, and so it's gonna be right here behind the servo. There is a screw, and then there's gonna be a screw right here on the frame. So it's gonna be on the other side as well. So it's a total of 3 screws. So all the screws are undone. You kind of wiggle. You can kind of pull it out the front. So there is the Y link or the wishbone link, whatever you want to call it, up front. So now we're gonna kind of put everything back together. Right now I've attached the links where they go towards the center of the truck at the skid plate by the frame. So they're both holding on by a screw. And then I'm slowly gonna do one at a time on the back side of the servo. Hopefully that should kind of limit the movement of the vehicle and allow me to install the ends of those links a little bit easier. I was able to attach this link on that side of the servo mount. So I did not take into account that this is a 3D printed aftermarket servo, so I don't know if it's comparable to stock, but I wasn't able to fit the stock hardware all the way through both links. So I do have an extra screw that I have my parts bin that I always have. So I'm just gonna use this screw to attach it to the other side of the servo tray. And voila, all of the front brass high clearance links are now installed. And so it converted from this wishbone to a 4-link, and it was pretty simple. So now we're gonna attack the rear. So here's just a look from side profile of the brass links compared to the hot racing links. Here is a profile from down below. You can see it has a lot of brass color. Definitely do provide more clearance compared to these long straight ones that have all been banged up. As you can tell, the paint's all missing. So it's definitely gonna be an improvement on the truck. Alrighty, so here we are in the rear of the truck, and now we're gonna replace the links. And so like I said again, the bend goes towards the wheels. So we're gonna install these like that, and these here. If I do remember correctly, the lengths of these were a little bit confusing for me to install last time. So it looks a lot more clear this time, so it shouldn't be too confusing at all. And we're just gonna follow that one link at a time method because it really does work out. So there are the links in the rear installed, and it took me about, I wanna say, maybe 20 minutes with filming. Definitely would have been a lot shorter if I wasn't filming, but if you're a beginner, this is probably one of the most challenging things to install on a truck. I definitely recommend doing one link at a time because that'll save you a lot of time. I also recommend installing the link here at the skid plate first and then out at the axle, because if you do it at the axle, it kind of just moves around too much versus where you do it here, it's kind of in a fixed position and it allows for, I don't know, just ease, I guess. So I'm gonna put on the wheels and then we will get this thing all back together. So there is the truck with the RC Addiction 19 links on it, and man, that added brass is looking good with all the other added brass pieces. And so there is the front steering link. It's a two-piece link, or a two-piece steering link. Definitely looking good. Was an easy install, pretty simple. Like I said again, the two shorter screws, one goes on the horn, one goes on this side of the knuckle, and then the longer one goes over here to connect the two. And then down below, we have all the bends. The bends go towards the wheels. The flat parts go towards the skid plate. We converted from a wishbone setup to a 4-link setup, so I just had to use an extra screw because my servo tray was too fat, but it should work stock. And so there's that. And then down here in the rear, we have the 4 other links. Definitely recommend installing everything at the skid plate and then working out. The articulation on these things is pretty annoying. And this probably is one of the most hardest things I've ever had to do on my SCX24, but it's pretty simple with all the RC Addiction stuff. All of his links will be in the description. Like I said, here is his eBay page. They are $79 each, but it does come with a lot and it's all handmade and stuff like that, so it's pretty cool. So it's 4 high clearance links for the rear, 4 high clearance links for the front, 2-piece steering link, it's a 10-link setup, 4-link conversion, better flex, custom made, using K&S metal brass tubing, shapewear rods. So the weight is about 19 grams plus 5 grams with the front steering link. So you're definitely adding a lot of weights down low to your SCX24. He does make them for the C10 and for the deadbolt, and he also does some customs requests, so you can always do that. Give him a DM on Instagram or eBay and Etsy. So hopefully you guys like that video. I need to get this servo fixed ASAP so I can go out crawling. But I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.